Good day to each and everyone. I am Dr. Jerome Magallen, your coach and your friend. And today we will be talking about self-care and fight depression. Stop stressing, start living. A sound mind thrives in a sound body. All human beings strive for a healthy body and a mind which is free from undesirable stress. Health is wealth. Our lifestyle, our habits, and choices will also be influenced by whether it allows for a healthy body and a positive mind. When asked the question, do you take care of yourself? Self-care encourages you to maintain a healthy relationship with yourself so that you can transmit the good feeling to others. There is a saying, you cannot give to others what you don't have yourself. In what ways do you take care of yourself? Practicing self-care does not mean that you are choosing yourself over your loved one. It means that you are simply being mindful of your own needs so that you are better able to support the people around and the people you care about. When you take care of yourself, you are not stressed. You are better able to meet the needs of others. The Stanford University psychologist Carol Dweck in 2006 popularized the idea of mindsets by contrasting different beliefs about where our abilities come from. If we have a fixed mindset and think that our ability is innate, then a failure can be unsettling because it makes us doubt how good we are. In contrast, if we have a growth mindset, then we expect that we can improve our ability, and a failure, therefore, shows us what we need to work on. People with a fixed mindset are out to prove themselves and may get very defensive when someone suggests they made a mistake. In other words, they measure themselves by their failures. People with growth mindset, on the other hand, often show perseverance and resilience. When they committed errors, they become more motivated to work harder. You can imagine how much having a fixed or growth mindset can affect our lives. We also have here the psychological growth, which means greater freedom to do what you want, live and pursue your interests. Others seek to understand themselves better, develop their personal capacities, experience new things. Some want to search within themselves for some deeper true self or psyche. On the other hand, when we talk about psychological depth, it begins to withdraw from others psychologically. People who have psychological depth may be less interested in normal activities, world events, and social relationships. They may be anxious and will lose that relationship, reputation, or possessions. Much of our behavior is motivated by fear or the fear of losing something, and we act accordingly. Now, what is self-care? Self-care is any activity that we do deliberately in order to take care of our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Although it's a simple concept in theory, it's something we very often overlook. Good self-care is key to improve mood and reduce anxiety. It's also a key to a good relationship with oneself and others. Now, love yourself first. Is it selfish to take care of yourself first? Now, here's the philosophy. If you take care of yourself first, you are also taking care of others. Self-care isn't a selfish act either. It is not only about considering our needs. It is rather about knowing what we need to do in order to take care of ourselves, being subsequently able to take care of others as well. That is, if I don't take enough care of myself, I won't be in the place to give to my loved ones either. Self-care is essential to our survival, said Jessica Michelson, psychologist and certified coach for adult and couples who want to find more joy and meaning in their busy lives. She defines self-care as the practice of taking care of one's own physical and emotional needs with the goals of remaining healthy and resilient. Consider a newborn who cries when they're hungry. That is an example of self-care, Michelson said. That is sensing your inner state and taking action to get your needs met. Because when we ignore our needs, over time we become sick, unhappy, and overwhelmed, she said. Many of us don't know how to practice self-care. Many of us weren't taught to pay attention to our inner states or to trust them. Instead, we are taught what we're supposed to think and feel and try to ignore feelings that we think we shouldn't feel. Maybe you're anxious about a certain situation, but you're ashamed about your nervous feelings, so you pretend they don't exist. Maybe you're really upset about something, but you think you should be happy, so you stuff down your sadness. Maybe you really need hours of sleep, but you believe you should be able to function just fine on few hours, so that's what you try to do. Maybe your entire body is saying no to a commitment, but you don't want to seem rude or impolite, so you say yes. We are also neglecting to take care of our own selves because our culture values and glorifies self-sacrifice. Although we can easily imagine self-love translating into narcissism, if taken to the extreme, in reality, they are two vastly different concepts. So self-love and narcissism are not the same. Self-love is about loving yourself without needing to make downward social comparisons, taking pride in your performance and your achievements, giving yourself the validation you need, and recognizing that it's okay to feel uncertain and doubt yourself now and then. Narcissism is the opposite. Narcissists compare themselves to others to feel better, obsess over looking like the real deal instead of becoming it, crave constant validation from others, and see things in white and black. This is according to Well in 2017. Self-love is an honest and authentic appreciation for the self, while narcissism is all about proving that you're better than everyone else and making sure others see you as you want to be seen. Self-love is self-focused, while narcissism is other-focused. Self-compassion and depression. Self-compassion is a vital component of the factors that protect us against depression and the negative outcomes it brings with it. Research has shown that those with low self-compassion are at risk for greater avoidance of their problems, more rumination over their negative thoughts and feelings, and worse functioning. This is according to Krieger et al. In 2013. Depression and suicidal thoughts are two of the most frightening things a person can face in their lifetime. In fact, suicide is one of the leading causes of death worldwide. Depression means that there is a considerable impairment in the person's ability to function in daily life. Depression has long been linked to suicidal thoughts and suicide in general. Suicide is a perceived permanent solution to a temporary situation. It is an overwhelming surge of emotions that never seems to end. Learning how to recognize depression, spotting when it gets worse, and finding the right resources can literally mean the difference between life and death. So the first thing to consider is you are not alone. No matter how pain you're experiencing right now, you're not alone. No matter what your situation is, there are people who need you, places where you can make a difference, and experiences that can remind you that life is worth living. Here is what you need to know about depression and how to prevent it from turning into a suicidal situation. First, recognize depression. Depression is real. Depression is more than having a bad couple of days. Depression is quite common. In fact, between 30 and 70% of suicide victims suffer from major depression or a related disorder. So we have here some signs of depression. First, it includes a feeling of helplessness, no longer finding joy in activities you used to enjoy. Then there is sleep changes, loss of energy, anger or irritability, reckless behavior, self-loathing, and more. So if depression has lasted for more than 2 weeks and it is affecting your day-to-day life, it's time to get treatment. If depression seems to only get deeper and you feel as though things will never get better, immediately treatment is necessary. So depression is treatable. The most common and effective treatment for depression include talk therapy, and for some people, medication if talk therapy alone is not enough. There is hope. Never give up on yourself or others with depression. The right kind of support and professional treatment, anyone can move on to live a healthy, happy, and productive life, and we deserve it. Get in touch with a counselor. There is absolutely no shame in getting help. So do it right now, today, before things get worse. Be honest about your feelings. If you are feeling down, talk to someone. Tell them that you need them. And you might be surprised by how willing they are to help you through this. Take medication as directed. If you are prescribed with medications, take them exactly as directed. Never stop the meds simply because you are feeling better. This can lead to a rebound effect, which can make your depression even more severe. And then join support groups. There are numerous groups online and in person that can help you through depression by offering up stories of those who have already walked this path. Don't hesitate to join them. Those in the groups have been in your shoes and they understand. So we have here some coping strategies. If you think you have depression and suicidal ideation, professional treatment is always the first step. However, there are also other measures you can take on your own to reduce the impact of depression symptoms in addition to therapy. First is exercise. Exercise strengthens our body to manage the physical challenges of daily living. Research proves that exercise even generates feel-good chemicals that can improve our mood. Second is nutrition. So let's talk about the importance of nutrition. Food is fuel for the mind and body. It is ideal to strive for 3 balanced meals with nutritious foods. Then, good sleep. Good sleep matters. Think of yourself as a phone and sleep as its charger. Without sleep, the brain and body will eventually shut down. It is important to realize that there are both healthy and unhealthy ways to cope with stress. Avoid harmful substances. Negative coping skills include activities that can feel good in the moment but leave people feeling worse later and potentially be dangerous. Be mindful. Mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment. When we get overwhelmed, it is usually because our minds start to think about past setbacks or worry about future challenges. This kind of thinking can lead to feelings of stress and even depression. Then practice stop. S. Stop what you are doing for a minute. Then T stands for take a breath. Breathe normally and naturally and follow your breath coming in and of your nose. O stands for observe your thoughts. When a thought arises, acknowledge it, sit with it, and accept it. And then P stands for proceed with something that will support you in the moment, whether that is talking to a friend or just stretching your shoulders. Then do what you love. It sounds easy enough, but with the push and pull of school, friends, extracurriculars, and family obligations, sometimes the last thing we put on to our to-do list are the things that are the most meaningful and enrich our lives. We should always prioritize the things that we love. Then get help. If you're dealing with suicidal thoughts, if you believe the world might be better off without you in it, it is definitely time to seek help. There's no shame in reaching out for help in a situation that is so overwhelming. In fact, those who love you and care for you will be forever grateful that you took the brave step of searching for help before you did something that would take you away from them forever. There is really another solution. It is important to remember that in the depths of despair, you are not seeing the situation clearly any longer. Your mind and heart have been taken over by the negative thoughts, and you are blinded to the more positive ones. There is always a solution other than suicide. Even if it is one you can't see right now, you must trust that it is there and ask someone for help to find it. It is very important to help those who are suffering or have suffered from depression, suicidal thoughts, or suicide attempts. Now, we need to sustain self-compassion. Greater Good Science Center at the University of California at Berkeley said one way to sustain self-compassion is the mindfulness approach, which means maintaining a moment-by-moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, body sensations, and surrounding environment. So there are many benefits of mindfulness. How its practice can be useful for well-being, quality of life, and health. So we have also here some practices for self-care. All the stress relief activities in the world won't help if you are not taking care of yourself. So we have the first, physical self-care. When it comes to physical self-care, ask yourself the following questions to assess whether there might be some areas you need to improve. First, are you getting adequate sleep? Second, is your diet fueling your body well? Third, are you taking charge of your health? And fourth, are you getting enough exercise? The second area is social self-care. The key is to figure out what your social needs are and to build enough time in your schedule to create an optimal social life. To assess your social self-care, consider the following questions. Are you getting enough face-to-face time with your friends? Are you doing to nurture your relationship with friends and family? And many more. The third is mental self-care. The way you think and the things that you're feeling, your mind will greatly influence your psychological well-being. Mental self-care also involves doing things that help you stay mentally healthy, practicing self-compassion and acceptance, help you maintain a healthier inner dialogue. Here are few questions to consider when you think about your mental self-care. First, are you making enough time for activities that are mentally stimulating? Are you doing proactive things to help you stay mentally healthy? And the fourth is emotional self-care. It's important to have a healthy coping skills to deal with uncomfortable emotions like anger, anxiety, and sadness. Whether you talk to a partner or close friend about how you feel, or you see aside for leisure activities, that help you process your emotions, it's important to incorporate emotional self-care into your life. When assessing your emotional self-care strategies, consider these questions. Do you have healthy ways to process your emotions? Do you incorporate activities in your life that help you feel recharged? And we also have here the spiritual self-care. So just as it is essential to nurture your body with food, it is also necessary to nurture your soul with spirit. There are many spiritual paths and spiritual support systems. Some of us may find that one particular spiritual path feels right and helps us find meaning and understanding for life. Others may find spiritual meaning through an eclectic blend of different spiritual traditions. Still, others may blaze their own paths. Regardless of where you find spiritual meaning, a certain amount of effort and discipline are necessary for establishing and maintaining a spiritual nurturance. Why stillness is so important when we talk about self-care? Stillness is a choice. It can be felt by living in a state of presence where we remain connected to ourselves and are completely present in our body. We are at one with everything and everyone in all that we do. Life flows with a simple rhythm, the rhythm of our stillness. Once you know yourself in your living stillness, there is nothing in this world that is greater than you, according to Serge Binhayon. So we also have self-compassion mantra. Mantras are phrases or sentences that you can repeat to yourself throughout the day as needed to keep you focused on your goals, mindful of what is happening inside your head, and feeling calm and balanced. Wilfred Peterson said, "Be gentle with yourself. Learn to love yourself, to forgive yourself, for only as we have the right attitude toward ourselves can we have the right attitude towards others." Self-love and self-care are important, and we flourish when we learn to forgive ourselves. So challenge yourself to show yourself love. So your thoughts affect your emotions affect your decisions affect your life. Positive mind, positive vibes, and positive life. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a good day.